was impressed with how quickly people.
I mean, it'd make a very
Really?
interesting meeting.
Oh, because mine took,
Did it?
How does that work for an absent?
which, I mean, they're new. I'm not,
Yeah, no.
I'm not judging.
No,
Who
'cause I mean,
knows?
all of them.
Oh, yeah. I never go through their
Put him on the
drive-thru.
board, carted him off.
Here, went on,
He will remain.
Oh, God.
and
That was my second choice.
showing the
I had 9
application.
months. If I hadn't gone that
Show
school,
me
I
how
would
they
have
get that, because, you know.
I should have looked.
Have you looked at the application?
Yeah, he might be in London for a
It's
little while.
totally, because we've had like 2 or 3 cases go through, we can't figure out where to skip it. I was like, yeah, they buried it.
I just give my phone number, so I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. You just wait for the tell them you have enough points for the freebie?
Yeah, no, that's what I heard.
They tell me my points every time I check in.
Let's call the meeting to order, please. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Tom, take the roll, please.
Mayor King,
Present.
Councilmember at Large Austin,
Present.
Councilmember Waller,
Present.
Bashusta,
Present.
Postma,
Present.
Baker,
Here.
Baskin,
Present.
Fisher.
Present.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a motion for the adoption of the agenda with the addition.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2 is a motion approving the minutes from our September 19th, 2022 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 is a motion for the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under public hearings, item number 5 is a public hearing on sanitary sewer assessment. Resolution, we've got a series of these. Resolution for 5A is declaring the cost of the assessments. Is anybody here from the public wishing to speak on this matter? Council, anything? Looking for resolution for item number 5A, declaring the cost of the assessment.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 5B is a resolution adopting the assessment roll.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 6, public hearing on assessments for miscellaneous sidewalk and driveway projects. Anybody here from the public wishing to speak on item number 6 regarding the sidewalks and driveway projects? If not, council? Hearing nothing, need a resolution for item number 6A, declaring the cost of the assessments.
So moved. Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. And 6B is a resolution adopting the assessment roll.
So moved. Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thanks, Tom. Item number 7 is a public hearing on assessments for snow removal. Anybody here from the public wishing to speak on this matter? If not, looking for a resolution for item number 7A, adopting the assessment roll.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Moving on to item number 8 is a resolution for a public hearing on assessments for the garbage and junk removal. Anybody here in the audience wishing to speak on this matter?
Yes.
Sir, please step to the podium and give us your name and address, please, for the record.
Tobias Wilking. Address is 1208 5th Street Northwest.
What can I do for you, Mr. Wilkins?
So I got a letter here from, I guess, an assessment for $125 or $125 for, says zoning citation. Upon looking into it, I had received a letter back in April or something that I had recyclable cans alongside a snowmobile trailer, and we had cleaned out my garage, had a bag of garbage leaned up against my camper. My neighbor directly behind me has a direct line to the zoning or investigator and calls them literally to harass. You know, I have a stick out of place and I get a citation. He came over, there was a picture done. I got a file saying that, you know, a letter saying that this was in violation. Okay, we had done it the Sunday before and hadn't got to the dispose of it to the garbage. Got it cleaned up, and in the time frame that it said, I had 10 days. I went into the zoning commission, they said that they had a bunch of properties. Our next door neighbor had garbage, fridges and everything. They did the cleanup. My property was on their list to do the cleanup, but they never did anything. So I don't feel that this $125 assessment is warranted. They didn't do nothing. I did it myself.
Ms. Wallace, do you know the case at all? Can you speak to it?
I don't know a lot of details about it, but my understanding is that the fine was for a repeat offense, so he wasn't actually sent a letter on the second one, but that we had photos of a violation still active on the property at the time that the citation was issued, or we wouldn't have done a citation.
So it's like a repeat customer, that's what the 125 is, and you want to explain that to Mr. Wilkin a little bit? What that means?
Sorry. Right. We did talk. We actually did talk at my office.
And
I think it was a couple weeks ago or a week ago.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And I was made it clear that, and you had one of your workers saying that a supposed bill had been sent to me. And he said and claimed that there was 5 other people that day or within that week that was claiming the same thing. I never received saying that I was getting fined or a bill or anything. I got a letter saying that I had 10 days to clean the violation. Otherwise, the city was gonna come in and do it and they were gonna charge me the fee. So when I did it myself and within the timeline of the violation, I should not have been assessed that. Should not have been imposed on that.
So as my understanding, House, he wasn't assessed
He's
for the
saying that
garbage
he-
removal, he was assessed for the second time.
Correct. He was assessed for the second violation.
Okay.
And, yeah, he was indicating that he hadn't received one of the documents, I think. And that was, we'd had,
Well,
I think,
I've had
one
a
other
violation back in 2000, been at the property for over 10 years. I had a zoning violation back in 06, or no, 2016, I think it is. I moved in 2009, and now I had another one. And they're saying that it's a repeat offense. Well, one violation, I can understand if I had multiple violations in a set time of frame. But you're talking 2016 to 2022, that's a long time. I mean,
I don't think our ordinance discriminates between how many years goes
Oh,
by,
it's
it's
within
second.
24 months.
So,
This
oh,
was
so it
with-
was within 24 months.
Sorry.
and I've never received a second citation in the same year.
Yeah, well, you would have had to within 24 months get the second and subsequent violation, so I can apologize for not getting the letter But I assume our records that show that it's been sent, and who knows what doesn't get read or picked up. But, so
Holly, where is this one? Because on the,
He's not on this one, I think he's on the.
Administrative citations.
okay.
Number 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works on here exactly. This one does
Okay.
reference junk and garbage removal, but I'm not sure if
Yeah.
that's for.
There's not one for $125 on this list.
for the
It-
10B.
But there's
yeah,
an
this is the
administrative
cleanup,
citation further
yeah.
down
Down the list, there's the
Down the list at number
administrative.
10.
Yeah, all I got is zoning citation, so I don't,
Yep, so
But if
10B.
somebody cleans up the property themselves and we don't clean it up, that's still considered an offense, just because they get notified and they clean it up? That still
If
counts
they, if
against
they're
them?
notified and
second
the
or
time
subsequent.
period expires and we go back and do a reinspection and it's still there, then we send a citation.
But he said, he claims he cleaned it up within the
Right,
time
he
period
did,
allowed.
no, well, he did, but there was a repeat offense after that. So he was sent a notice of a violation. He cleaned up the violation within the time period required. Then there was another violation shortly thereafter, within a couple of months of the first violation. That's considered a repeat violation.
but it wasn't.
But I
the
guess,
thing-
I
but
guess I wouldn't consider.
The issue that I'm having
Violation.
with this is that, I mean, you can get by their inspector, okay, I can go out today, I can clean my garage out, set a bag of garbage out. My can's full, it doesn't get taken until Wednesday, okay, I'm not gonna sit it alongside on the garbage, I'll put it up by my garage. Now, the harassment that I get is that that's a violation because I have this bag of garbage. Now, but the thing is that when I get this letter saying that, hey, I'm violating the city ordinance, and I get it taken care of, they're coming back and now they're saying that I have another violation because I have a stack of wood that's not neatly against my property. So now I get a $125 fine because it's another offense. Not the same offense that, the bag of garbage is still there, it's another violation of, well, there's something else on your property that someone doesn't like to see. The same citation was not, so I have a citation for A and a citation for B, but both of them have been taken care of in the time frame that it was allowed, and I'm still getting assessed.
So I guess, council, we have a decision to make here. We have an ordinance on the books that says second or subsequent offense within 24 months. There's pictures taken, there's a visit to the home. He's saying that he doesn't deserve the 125 fee. I'm open to council's solution to this, just to move the meeting on. I think we have, I get that we are complaint-based on your neighbor. That's how we roll in Austin. We don't have a full-time assessor or inspector driving around, but we rely upon neighbors to complain. And whether you think you're being targeted by this neighbor, I can't be for sure on that. But there's been documented issues. At least the city has pictures, and they've sent out mailings. And we do have that on our ordinance, that it's a fee if it's second or subsequent. So it's certainly up to the council if they want to choose to modify or dismiss or anything else. I'm open to that.
Mayor King, a lot of them are the same situation on those lists.
Yep, I agree. But he's before us here, and I'm looking for a resolution of the meeting.
So right now, we're still not on 10. He's
Oh,
under
he's on
10B.
10A
So we
anyway.
need to
And B
commence
as in
with
boy.
8.
Yeah, so we got some cleanup to do because it's for the zoning. Craig?
Yeah, a couple of observations. First, I don't want to get confused on the item that we're on that doesn't appear to involve this property owner. And two, I just want the council to know that with administrative citations, there is a process for challenging those that is in the ordinance, and it would bring the issue back to the council if it was challenged properly. And there's a form that you fill out to say that you don't believe that the administrative citation is appropriate, and that would allow staff to present a report that would describe
Beautiful.
exactly what happened and be prepared for a challenge like that.
Thank you for
To
that.
wait until the assessment hearing does make it problematic, just from an
Well,
information standpoint.
Thank you for that. That makes it clear. So, Mr. Wilking, you have the option to file with the clerk's office and get a complaint form to file a formal complaint, and the city will have a response to that.
Okay.
Okay?
Actually, I should clarify. There's a time period that is required to file a complaint, and that time period has passed months ago. So now it went to assessment because it wasn't paid. So it was never contested, and that time period has passed for being able to contest
Is that
original.
Information on the letter, on the form?
I have an example here of one that, well, actually, no, it doesn't have the back page on it.
I do have the back page.
Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah, it does have all the information about how to follow up if you disagree with the penalty.
Then I don't think we have a path forward then. I think it's just going to be assessed for the $150 fee, Mr. Wilking. Thank you. So 9A, for the weed and,
8A.
8A, for the garbage and junk removal. Anyone else here from the public wishing to speak on this matter? If not, looking for a resolution adopting 8A, adopting the assessment roll.
So moved.
second?
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now, under 9 is, for the public hearing, is a public hearing on assessments for the weed and grass removal. Anyone here from the public wishing to speak on the weed and grass removal? Gentlemen? Yeah, sure. Please give us your name and address, please, for the record.
I'm in representation of my father, Roberto Padilla, address 804 First Avenue Northwest. And we're here for an administrative citation for garbage and junk removal.
That'll be later.
That was 8.
No, the administrative.
Oh, okay,
Nope, still under 10.
okay.
Got it.
Can you, well,
Yes, so we,
can we get through 9 though, please? First, Mr. Padilla, can we just clarify? We'll go, I don't think there's an objection to anybody here for the weed and grass.
You're next on the agenda.
So we can, I'm looking for,
next
you
item.
can stay right there, though. Looking for the council for resolution number 9A for the weed and grass removal assessment.
So moved. Second?
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And number 10 is a series of public hearing on assessments for administrative citations. We have a few. You're here on behalf of the zoning? Can we just go
It'd
to?
be on Park and Rec.
It'll be under Park and Rec?
Said-
Okay, so
What he
under,
said, he said grass, so that
Grass.
would be Park and Rec.
okay, so 9A, adopting assessment rule, and you're here to grieve weed. Go ahead.
the garbage and junk removal.
Okay, so that'd be zoning.
Yeah, they've spoken to me previously.
Okay, let's just hear it. What do you have? We'll go to 9, this is 9B then, right, or 10B. What do you have?
So we got this letter recently, last week, and we decided to give a visit to Brent and to the city hall here about this matter that they have charged us with the 125, and they said that they've sent 2 previous letters down to our residents, and we did not receive them at all. And it's for the junk that we have accumulated in the back, but it is part of our job. We do garbage removal out of the houses of evictions and all that, and we accumulate it waiting for a certain period so we can go throw it away into a landfill. But there was a certain time back when they took the pictures back in April, where they took the pictures, and that there was a period where the landfill was temporarily closed. and we couldn't get rid of it. So that was when they took one of them. And once we got rid of some, we also, we have, there are certain days that you have to throw it away. So we accumulated more, and around one of those days, they obviously took the picture in when we had the garbage there. So, but we have been getting rid of that stuff like we do. We pick it up and we get rid of it, and we have, it's clean. Right now, the residence is clean, and we recently just got this letter that they want us to pay the 125, but we haven't received the letters that they sent before, and they might argue that we maybe received the letters, so that's why we cleaned it up, but we did not receive them, or pick up any letters that they said that they certified. So, yeah, it's cleaned. And we recently got another letter for fixing up the west side of the house. We got that one, so we came here to speak about that right when we got it, and we fixed everything up. So that's why we argue that if we would have received those letters, we would have come straight right up here to talk about that.
So these letters get sent out certified, Holly?
Yes, they were indicated that the letter was in the mailbox, but for whatever reason, they said they did not receive it.
Okay.
Or, I mean, there was the notice for certified, I should say, not the actual letter, but.
So outside of the letter, not getting the letter, it seems like it was a timing issue. Bad timing to leave garbage and refuse, whatever you're cleaning up from a different house outside. Maybe if this is your business, is there somewhere else you could store it until the transfer station, wherever you dump it, is open? I mean, this seems to be just a timing issue that unfortunately we want to keep a clean city, and sometimes neighbors would call that in, and your full intention is to remove it and do it the right way, but timing was an issue.
Yeah, just that was the time that it was temporarily closed. Right now it's open, and we can easily get rid.
We understand, we don't like to have it.
No,
It's in our yard, but.
I feel that from you, I do.
My 2 trailers is full, and that's why we put this away back in the yard, but we just waiting to open it, throw it away.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it is a timing issue. I appreciate what you do for people cleaning up, that we have the administrative citation fee for, I think, a very good reason. And I'm sorry you become a victim of this based on poor timing of when you take your stuff to the landfill. But that's just that's how the ordinance is written, and I think we just have to abide by that.
So there's no way it can be.
Is this one already all through the process of the waiting? Yeah. So the grievance portion, 2 month, whatever it is, I don't even know what the grievance portion is, Holly. That's expired also. Now, whether it was on the letter you didn't get, I can't answer that, but these are difficult situations. We don't want to assess people just to be punitive, and I understand that you seem like you have something going. You're actually trying to remove junk and help people with that. But again, the timing got the best of you in this one.
Your Honor, I would just mention that we actually did have 2 citations, and we did void the one on the substandard housing because they did come in and talk to us right away about that.
Okay.
But this one had been done previously, and that time had passed.
So you did the right thing on the last one, talking at least in a timely manner to Ms. Wallace to get that one removed. But unfortunately, you got the $150 for the other one.
Yeah, we didn't receive the letter. That's why we.
Yeah, and we send them out certified. We can't we don't force people to pick it up, but we do our best to make sure that you get that letter. It's unfortunate that you didn't. We couldn't do any more. We couldn't do anything different other than sending it out certified.
It's sent to the tax registered address with the tax filing with the county, so we use the best known address that the tax bill goes to.
So right now, so just what you want is paid,
You're going to have to pay that $150 assessment.
the $100 or?
Is it 150?
125.
25?
You can
125.
that can be paid at the clerk's office during normal business hours.
October 31st. Otherwise it goes on your taxes next year.
Pay it by October 31st, or it goes on their taxes for next year. So you can stop in the main office here anytime, 8 to 5.
Thank you.
Thank you, sorry. All right, now that was the zoning one. We're going back to 10A. adopting the assessment role for the Park and Rec. Is anybody here from the public wishing to speak on this matter? 10A. Dave?
I do. I have one, and I know we don't want to get into these on a case-by-case basis, but one particular case was brought to my attention, and I started looking into it, and that's Jessica Alfaro Hernandez. She has 3 citations for not mowing or the height of her grass, and I talked to her. She acknowledges that, yes, she didn't mow it. The family member that was supposed to be doing it wasn't. Claims that based on her life situation with work and kids, that she was not able to go pick up the 3 certified letters that we sent to her. She acknowledges the fines and fees associated with having to mow her lawn, but I'm asking if we can waive the late fees that she was charged. Her total fine is $275 with late fees of $50, and just talking to her, like, she's willing to pay, and I'm just asking the council if they would consider assessing fees of $225 versus $275. I apologize if this is out of order here, but I didn't.
Is she in the audience?
She is not.
Well, I know that back when I was a council member, I've gotten some of that late fees waived, but I didn't bring it to a council meeting. It didn't get to the assessment phase. So I don't know. I'm at a loss. Greg, do you have anything on this legally? Is there any reason why we can't waive the? So council, I leave it up to you guys.
So Dave, what you're saying is acknowledgement that it didn't get mowed, but in terms of getting the letter to get it rectified, it sounds like she has somebody that picks up her mail and brings it to her, or what's the?
No, she's telling me that she received the notifications that she had certified mail. The reasons that people don't go pick up certified mail, I can't say, but she said that because of her job and her family situation, she was not able to get to the post office to pick them up. So she didn't address this until she got the actual letter in the mail saying that she had all these fines and fees. She's not saying she shouldn't pay them, some of them. She's just asking if she could not pay the late fees because of the process, I suppose. So I'm just advocating on her behalf. And
I think it may or may not be a sticky wicket. That, like I said, when I was a council, I had someone call it right away and said, hey, I got this letter in the mail. They don't think it's justified. Similar situation where the grandkid was supposed to be mowing the lawn and the grandkid didn't by a certain time. So that was able to be kind of handled through not going to council and not getting this far. Now, once it gets this far, I'm assuming that since everybody else shows up to grieve their assessment, that we should have the same expectation for this person to come forward and grieve their assessment when it gets to this late in the game. That just out of fairness, I feel bad now knowing what we just did to the 2 prior and giving a break on this one.
Well, we're talking the late fees versus
I
the
understand
administrative
that.
fees,
I do
right?
understand that.
Mr. Byram, do we have the option of, I know the administrative fee has to be contested in a certain amount of time, but this would be a little bit different circumstance, correct?
A very technical level. My understanding that in order to really present a challenge to the assessment role at this stage, a written challenge is required either prior to or at the public hearing. We don't have written challenge, we have an oral challenge. We don't have the property owner themselves advancing their claim. But that's on a technical basis. If the council wants to amend its role before it approves it, the council has some leeway to do that. It just opens up, what do we do the next case, and what did we do the last case, and what do we do? You face this time every year with a very long laundry list of people, many of whom are not happy, of course. And so that would be my only comment on a policy grounds is this will, create expectations in the public.
Council, anything with following those remarks from our city attorney?
I think based on those grounds, I'd make a motion to just accept it as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
We're just going to do all in favor on this. This isn't part of the formal resolution. This is just this instance.
I think the motion was to accept as.
All of them.
All of them.
So that was.
NA.
That was the one Park and Rec. Is anybody else here in the audience on another matter for Park and Rec? For the weeds or grass? No, then we'll go right to the adopting the assessment roll for 10A, Park and Rec. Need a resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. We've done 10B under zoning. We're on to 10C, adopting the assessment roll for rental housing.
I don't know if we did.
They never voted on
We never voted on 10B?
Never voted
I
on it.
crossed it off. 10B, anybody here looking to speak on the assessment for the zoning? Sorry for bouncing around. If not, looking for a resolution for 10B, adopting the assessment roll for zoning.
So move. Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. On to rental housing. 10C, adopting the assessment roll for rental housing. Anybody here for the public wishing to speak on this matter? If not, looking for a resolution for 10C.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 10D, adopting assessment roll for the sump pump. Anybody here for this assessment on the sump pump? I could, but I will refrain. 10D, looking for a resolution.
So moved. Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 10E, under the administrative citation, adopting the assessment roll for the building department. Anybody here for the building department assessment as far as the administrative citations? Hearing none. 10E, looking for resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. On to 11A, public hearing on assessment for unpaid vacant property fee. Anyone in the audience looking to speak on this matter? If not, looking for a resolution for item number 11A, adopting the assessment roll.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 12 is a public hearing on assessment for tree removal. Anyone here? Hey, we got one. Step up to the podium, please, and give us your name and address, please.
My name is Lori Clark, but it's Jack Clark's property. I'm his wife. It's 904 8th Avenue Northeast, Austin, Minnesota.
Okay.
Okay, they came and I went to work one day. I come home and this tree is cut down. They didn't give me any notice that it was dangerous or harmful to anybody. It was just cut down. So they want to charge me $715 for this tree. And I don't get it.
Okay. So you had a tree removed out of your yard?
Yep.
They gave no notice, or you
No
didn't get
notice,
notice?
no
Was it
nothing.
on the boulevard?
No, it's on the side between my house and the
Okay.
neighbor's
Was the
house.
tree dead or damaged?
No.
or- Who can speak to this matter on the tree?
That'd be Park and Rec.
Park and Rec's not aware. You want, Dave, you want to just meet with her on a given time and talk about this before we go too much further?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, is anybody else here to speak on the tree removal assessment? Holding kind of this one in abeyance, can we go forward with this, this resolution?
I think we need, and we need them for the timeline to report to the county, correct?
904.
Can we withhold one?
Payments
We still have-
accepted by October 31st, because the county wants to know by November 1st, so that gives
Right.
us,
But if we don't take action on this one, we'll miss the timeline, correct?
Can
it
we,
would just, if you're removing one, it'd just come off the assessment. I mean, we could probably always assess it at a later time, at the
Sure.
next meeting.
Yeah, we'd
But that
need,
just gives them a shorter window to pay it if that's what they want.
so removing the Jack Clark property, we could go forward with 12A.
I would recommend that you continue that item to the next meeting so that we know it's on the next agenda for action of some kind.
The whole 12A or just the Jack Clark?
Just the
Just
one
Jack
item.
Clark, okay.
just the Jack Clark.
So holding Jack Clark off the assessment roll, we can go forward with 12A with the resolution excluding this property,
Including it on the next.
putting it on the next council agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 13 is a public hearing on hazardous housing abatements. Is anyone here from the public to speak on 13? If not, looking for a resolution for 13A, adopting the assessment roll.
So moved. Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 14 is a public hearing on forfeited property reassessments. Anybody here from the public wishing to speak to this? If not, looking for a resolution for item number 14A.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thanks, Tom. 15 is a public hearing for unpaid street repair assessments. Anyone here wishing to speak on this matter? Hearing none. 15A, looking for resolution adopting the assessment roll.
So moved. Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Under petitions and requests, we have item number 16, is a resolution approving the renewal of the tax abatement program through December 31st, 2025. Craig?
Thank you, Mayor, members. This is a program that we first adopted in 2016 and renewed in 2019. It sunsets at the end of this year. So we're asking for council renewal through December 31st, 2025. It's a 3-year tax abatement program for any new single or multifamily unit in the community to try to address our housing challenges that we have in the community. We need more production. This is to incentivize that. We've had 65 abatements with approximately $23.9 million in estimated value. Be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, we ask for council approval for renewing of the program. The Mower County and the school district are supportive of the measure. It sounds like Mower County may do some slight modifications on the but-for test of needing approval before the applications or the projects move forward, but they can address that on their basis as they see fit. Otherwise, both the school and county are supportive of renewal with some slight modifications.
Thank you, Craig. Council, anything on this item?
No, I think it's a good program, and I mean, housing and increasing housing supply is obviously an important issue in the community, so wholeheartedly support it.
It sounds like it could be a resolution.
I move to approve.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thanks, Tom. Item number 17 is a motion authorizing the city recorder to sign a waiver stating the city does not waive statutory tort limits. Thomas?
As we process our 2023 insurance application with the League of Minnesota Cities, one of the annual requests is the city going to proposed to not waive the statutory tort limits, which then limits the amount that we can be, in essence, sued for almost all cases. League of Minnesota Cities highly recommends that we continue our process of not waiving statutory tort limits, so we'd request council authorization to do that.
Thank you, Tom. Council, anything for this?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. 18 is a resolution approving a noise study with SRF Consulting Group. Stephen?
Yes, as we discussed at the last work session, we received a proposal from SRF to review a noise barrier for the standalone noise barrier program with MnDOT. And this would be located on the south side of I-90 from 4th Street northwest to the Cedar River. One modification in the proposal to note is that when we met at the work session last week, we talked about, and there seemed to be some interest in having actual field measurements in that neighborhood, and that was not included in SRF's original proposal. So I went back to them, I reviewed their proposal in detail, went back to them and asked them so that we have a baseline for what the baseline noise is today in that actual neighborhood, was to have some in-field measurements. So they have made an adjustment to their proposal to include that, along with all the other work required. The other work that they were planning to do was more modeling, using existing ground topo, using lots of data that they can collect from their office in order to do the noise study. This will help them to have exact in-field measurements to go along with the study. It'll be more accurate this way. And to do that, their cost increased. I believe what we had at the work session was $7,888. It's now $11,350. So present that to you. You could approve either option. If you don't think the in-field testing is necessary, we could go back to the $788 or go with the proposal in front of you in that amount of $11,350. If that is approved, they'd likely be down later in October to do that on-site testing and start developing and reviewing the noise the traffic noise in that area, in that neighborhood.
Stephen, how intensive is the noise measurement? I mean, it's more than just a guy standing in a backyard with like a $20 like decibel holder, right?
Yeah, they have specialized equipment to do it. It'll either be from a vehicle, or it may be somebody standing back there with the necessary equipment required to meet MnDOT's noise recording documents. Yeah, and can't just be out there with my cell phone and the Audible app or whatever is required to do noise. Yep.
Even if we did it for half and split it?
Audible app, interesting. All right, well, your backup material said 11,350 anyway, so I'm assuming that at least it was in their bid. Council, anything else on this item? Looking for resolution for item number 18.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Tom?
Councilmember Waller.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 19 is a resolution setting a public hearing on October 17th, 2022 for the assessment of a sanitary sewer property. Need a resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 20 is declaring the property at 1017 10th Ave Southwest a hazardous structure.
So moved.
Resolution.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 21 is a resolution declaring the property at 1203 11th Avenue Northwest a hazardous structure. Need a resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 22 is our addition, speaking about the TZD, Towards Zero Death Grant. Chief McKeegan?
So we've been involved in Minnesota's Towards Zero Death program for quite some time. It used to be called the Safe and Sober program. It is funds through the federal government via the state that are given out to local law enforcement agencies to allow us to specifically have shifts that focus on the enforcement of our traffic laws. The city of Austin has always been the administrator, and the sheriff's department does work this with us. And so shifts are available to both agencies. The sheriff's department would just basically bill us back for the costs they use in each particular wave. These waves are done in coordination with some of the television ads you'll see related to drunk driving, inattentive driving, speed, things of that nature. Hopefully the combination of that educational piece, enforcement, and engineering will bring Minnesota closer to not having any traffic safety deaths. When we're working these shifts, unless it's a dire emergency, these officers don't go on calls. They just get to focus on the traffic nature of what we bring them in to do. This particular grant would be for just under $21,000. J.J. Mueller has administered this for the last couple years, and this resolution allows us to move forward within that process to finalize it.
Okay. Any questions for Chief McKeegan on this matter? If not, looking for a resolution? We've been rolling with them anyway, might as well keep this one going.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Waller.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thanks, Tom. Under reports and recommendations? Greg, anything?
Yes, we did receive a letter back to council in regards to our letter we sent to legislative leaders on the failure to conclude the legislative session in a proper manner with a bonding bill and et cetera. Speaker of the House, Melissa Hortman, responded to us outlining her position and that they continue to support a special session, but otherwise thought I'd pass that along. And Julie Kleinfelter has something from the library.
Okay. Julie?
I just wanted to make sure people knew that Saturday, October 8th, a continuation of the welcoming week at the library with our Austin, Our America Community Collaboration Grant. We have the African Dance Troupe is going to be at the library at 11 o'clock for a free performance to talk a little bit about the music that they use and the dances that they're doing. And it's a kids troupe, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then at 1 o'clock the same day, Saturday, October 8th, at 1 o'clock we're going to have an artist, Prey Ray, who is a Karenni artist, come and do a drawing class, and we'll have supplies for everyone so they can take part in that too. And it's going to be a drawing about one of the important traditional events in the Karenni people's lives called Diku. So again, two really cool opportunities to come and check out at the library on Saturday.
African Dance Troupe, you said?
At
October
11,
8th at 11 a.m.
And then Karenni drawing at 1.
Okay, thank you. Any other department heads have anything? No. Then we got to back up to citizens addressing.
Tom's got one.
Oh, Tom.
Just welcome Brianne Wolf to her first council meeting substituting for city clerk. She's scared.
Welcome, Bree.
Is Bree, you going to be taking Ann's spot then? Are you? Wow, good for you. Highly competent. Bree is highly competent. Thank you. Any citizens here to address the council on things that weren't on the agenda?
Just
Can you step up? Sorry to make you step up to the microphone, but it's for the record. Need your name and address, please.
Hi, I am Julie Skinnis, and it's 814 29th Avenue.
Julie what?
Skinnis.
Skinnis. Okay.
Yeah, 814 29th Avenue, Southeast.
How can we help, Julie?
And I'm aware people reached out to some of you today. I'm just following up to see if there's any way we can put this on an agenda or figure something out. My grandson is one of the kids that this summer was attacked at a park because it's not his park. And I've got videos from other incidents that are happening. These are some pretty big fights and people being jumped. And the common denominator on quite a few of them, I can't speak for all of them, are this is our park. Well, my grandson, this is months and months ago, is still doctoring because they were at his park and they told him to leave and he turned to walk away, they held him and broke his nose, broke his arm, broke his glasses. And these aren't a certain group of people's parks. These are our parks. And I'm concerned for the safety of adults, for children, for our community. And I think it's time that we all come together and figure out what we're going to do to ensure the safety of everybody at these parks. Because quite honestly, if you go on this post on Neighborhood Watch, this is not a rare thing. This is happening to many, many people and adults. And it's adults with their kids fighting people like it's acceptable. It really concerns me. It concerns me for the whole city.
Right. Well, it concerns us too. And Chief McKeegan, I don't know if you have a comment on this. If you're seeing influx of calls, I'm not sure if law enforcement's being called on these. People take videos with their camera.
I know
but-
ours was. We
I
called,
recall that.
yes,
I
we
recall that.
called into the police and we also called into the city, but.
Yeah, I recall yours.
Mhm.
Anything to offer on this, Chief?
I recall that particular one as well, and I'm not going to necessarily comment on individual cases. I was aware of some correspondence that the council received today about the parks. Austin does have a phenomenal park system. There are many of them. They are well used. They are often very busy. Anytime you have divergent groups of people using and sharing those spaces, unfortunately, you have some risk of having conflict from time to time. I don't think 2022 or 2021 is necessarily showing us any increases, at least as long as we look at the data. I believe the incident you spoke about is outside of the data window I looked at. I looked from April 1st of any given year to October 3rd, generally when the parks are open and when they're the busiest. In 2022, we have had 2 fight calls to our parks. We've had 2 assault calls, one of which was determined not to have been an assault. It was a misinterpretation. So 3 calls roughly in that 6-month period in 2022. In 21, we had that same period, 2 fight calls, 3 assault calls. In 2020, 2 fight calls, 2 assault calls. 2019, 4 fight calls, 1 assault call. Not all the times when we arrive will we find active fighting going on in all of these cases. It's kind of consistent. The parks are different in each and every one of these. Some years it might be we're at Todd Park, other years the band shell. One incident was at the pool, once at the skate park. So there's not consistency over time, but you are having often young people having some conflicts at the park. Sometimes it's an agreed upon meeting spot to settle conflicts. And other times, and I think there's a video from a call we went to in Todd Park on September 19th that's making the rounds. You had a very busy park that day. I was able to look at the squad video. We were called for a fight. No fight was ongoing when we got there. We did have to de-escalate some folks who were still verbally having some issues. However, again, based on what we were getting from the folks there wasn't a means for us to pursue anything criminally. And again, in some cases, that's not going to be available to us. What we're able to do is make sure nothing is ongoing, de-escalate things to the best of our ability, move those people in and out of the park. I would certainly share that what happened and transpired on September 17th was not acceptable. I know the officers delivered that message to the adults that were involved. It sounds like it was something where the various kids were not behaving, and these were younger kids, and the adults, rather than interceding and de-escalating, it appeared to have picked sides, and it led to a fight. It's unfortunate. It's not acceptable. Within the data, while these things happen and they're not acceptable, and we don't want to see them happen, we want to see the number being 0. It is a reflection that Austin is a large enough city. We have enough people using and being in these parks, especially at an age where you have conflict, that we see these and we attempt to manage them on a case-by-case basis, trying our best to either de-escalate, or if we do have those who are willing to pursue criminal charges, seeing if we can come up with the evidence that allows us to move a case forward. Sometimes that's possible. Other times it's unfortunate, despite the victim's best interest and our best interest, we're not able to get to that point.
Thank you. I know you offered more patrol in your CSOs to the park, so we have a very robust enforcement as far as our APD and the amount of calls they do take.
Right, and I totally respect that. I mean, I am in total support of the policing community. My grandfather was a cop for 47 years. But to me, when you have 30 people on one person and nobody is held accountable, that's a problem. When kids are posting this and laughing and then coming back the next day and telling people to bring it and telling you again that it's their park, I think there's concern there. You know, I think that the more that we're not holding people accountable for those actions, whether it's both parties at that point, you know, like I wasn't there for that one, but I know my grandson is still mentally having a very hard time understanding why the statement back was, we don't do anything with 14 or under. This is gonna go with him for a long time. And he's literally looking at now having surgery on his nose and nothing was done and they knew who it was. You know, these kids go back to school and then they're threatening them and saying, hey, you know, you want a repeat of this? Well, it's because they're not being held accountable. And I guess I don't personally feel like if you take some time and read the post, read the other people that are on that post, that are adults that are bringing their young kids, not just this group. I understand that every situation is different. Read those posts and look at the other adult parents that are leaving those parks because those comments are being made that it's their kids. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking or blaming or anything. I just really feel like you really do need to look at this because I'm telling you, if my son was doing this, it'd be DHS called on me. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. I'm sorry for what your grandson went through.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Your concerns are concerns, no doubt. It's just that sometimes the measure of the law is different than the
Yeah,
video is.
and I do get that, but at that point, like with my grandsons at that same one, the statement was that those kids have been causing problems nonstop. They're not gonna stop. And at that point, in all honesty, the way I feel, those kids aren't given a shot. Because if you're letting them do this and they're keeping that behavior, they're being set up to serve time later on. They're not getting a chance either to learn that they need to respect and to abide by the rules and the laws before it's too late for them and then they're paying behind a cell. That's just my personal opinion.
That's a good point.
I do appreciate your guys' time. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you. Any other citizens here to address the council items that were on the agenda? All right, hearing none, move on to city council. Rebecca?
I have nothing, Your Honor.
Paul?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Jason?
A couple of quick things. You know, one is I think on the last subject, I mean, the message is clear that public safety in Austin's non-negotiable. And I know, you know, there's individual cases that we can and can't get into, but no, you've got the full support of the council and I'm sure the mayor as well, that public safety is non-negotiable and it's something we take very seriously. So thank you for speaking up. Two other quick items. Reminder, Hunt for Your Cure is on Saturday. So if you're interested in getting out, a little early pheasant hunting for a good cause, that's Saturday morning or afternoon. And then finally had the opportunity to participate in the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities Local Government Aid and Local Tax Committee meeting on Friday. Obviously, LGA is a pretty good chunk of our budget. And so from an Austin perspective, you know, good to kind of make sure that our interests are represented there. You know, I think high level is CGMC is looking at, you know, does a formula update make sense? I don't know if we're fully on board with that, but there'll be some additional conversations. And then they'll continue to advocate for ensuring that LGA, you know, continues to grow as inflation type of grows. So they will continue advocating on our behalf at the state capitol as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason. Jeff?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Jeff?
Nothing here.
Posty?
I would just give thanks to all those who have donated for the flower program. It was a beautiful season of flowers maintained by our Park and Rec folks. And they came down this weekend, and now we have some lovely fall decor that I saw the Chamber and Discover Austin and folks putting out. So appreciate that we continue to keep downtown looking great all year long.
Thanks, Mike.
I too want to speak on the park thing. Thank you very much for coming forward, and I'm really sorry about what your grandson went through. We all do agree that public safety is, you know, number one for us. So, and I'm glad to hear through a lot of the emails and messages that I got today that people are forming more neighborhood watch type things. And I think that that is really important too, so that neighborhoods and we have other eyes and ears out there when the police can't be everywhere. So thank you very much. That's it.
Thanks, Joyce. I have nothing. Looking for a motion to adjourn until our next meeting, October 17th, 2022 at 5:30.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned, and we'll 5-minute break till we get down to the work session. A lot of resolution.
Bring it.
Oh, yeah, that, yes, that.